Bom dia, Portugal. Tudo bem? Are there giants in central Portugal? Let's check it out.
He's good, he's good, he's good, he's good. Wicked. It's Portuguese good.
So we're here today in Penacova, which is a small town in central Portugal. Penacova is most famous for the so-called Livraria do Mondego, or the Mondego Library, which I've been told is the remains of a giant's bookcase next to the mighty Mondego River, and it's apparently been there for more than 400 million years. That's before the internet. Let's see what it's all about. Okay, very quickly before I start, I've noticed that about 60% of you viewing these videos aren't subscribed yet. It costs you nothing to subscribe, but it really helps me out. So please do me a big favor and hit that subscribe button. You know you want to. Go on, hit it please. Hit it. Here I am, perched on the banks of the Mondego River, gazing upon the majestic, awe-inspiring Livraria do Mondego. But this is no ordinary library, my friends, for the books here are not penned by authors, but rather sculpted by the hands of time and the persistent whispers of the wind. Nestled in the heart of Portugal near the enchanting town of Penacova, Livraria do Mondego is not your typical bookcase where tales are encased within paper and ink. No, dear friends, this is a library etched into the very cliffs that stand tall and proud, having witnessed centuries pass by, each layer telling a story more ancient and mystical than the last. As I squint my eyes trying to decipher the tales those stone shelves might hold, I can almost make out the outlines of, oh, could it be a bookshelf? Yes, there it is, standing tall, carved by the elements over 2 million years, each stratum a chapter of Earth's own epic saga. Be on the lookout, for giants might just be lurking around the corner, perhaps pondering over which colossal tome to peruse next. I wonder, what tales did they immerse themselves in? Adventures of ancient creatures, perhaps, or love stories penned in the stars? Oh, and look there, that formation. Doesn't it bear a striking resemblance to? Could it be a Harry Potter book? Imagine giants engrossed in the tales of wizards, witches, and magical escapades. Their enormous fingers gingeringly turning the stone pages, their eyes twinkling with the reflected glow of fantastical spells. The Livraria do Mondego, a testament to nature's own storytelling, where every rock, every grain of sand holds the secret of ages gone by. It's a place where imagination takes flight, where stories are not read, but felt, seen, and lived through the very earth beneath our feet. So, dear explorers of the whimsical and wild, as we tread lightly upon these ancient pages, let's weave our own tales, imagine our own giants, and become a part of the everlasting story that is the Livraria do Mondego. I see it. Okay, Matthew, what books can you see up on the shelves? Tell them. So when you look at that, can you see a bookshelf?
Yeah.
You can see the bookshelf, right? You can see it. He can see it. The giant's bookshelf. Look at that. And there you have it. The mighty Mondego River as it flows through central Portugal. Here we are again at another beautiful spot next to the mighty Mondego River. And you can see down here, it's a Saturday, a day of rest for the Penacovans. And here's where you can find them all fishing in the Mondego River. I wonder what kind of fish they catch. I'm not going to go too close because Portuguese people don't like to be on video, and I can respect that. Let's have a look at what we can see across the river. So over here, this big company you can see, all of these buildings are all part of Agua Penacova, and Agua Penacova produces mineral water, bottled mineral water, and it's one of the biggest such companies in Portugal. So from Monday to Friday, you will see all the Penacovans walking down the hill and coming to work at Agua Penacova. So next time you're drinking Agua Penacova, you can imagine that these gentlemen who are fishing today may be producing your water Monday to Friday. Very hard-working gentlemen. Apparently, bottling water, very thirsty work. So I hope that they don't have to pay for their water. It's probably one of the perks, I imagine, of working at Agua Penacova. But who knows? So up behind me, you can see the town of Penacova. So Penacova and the surrounding villages is home to about 6,000 people. But we're only about 20 or 25 minutes away from Coimbra. Now, in some of the bigger cities I've lived in, that would almost make Penacova a suburb. So I'm sure some Penacovas do commute to Coimbra. Lisbon, we're about 2 hours drive from Lisbon. We're about 1 hour 20 from Porto. So obviously Lisbon and Porto for your international airports. And then if you really do want seaside, Figueira da Foz is about a 45-minute drive from here. So you're really not very isolated. You're sort of right in central Portugal, but you're not a million miles away from anywhere. Fantastic location. So I've mentioned in previous videos that it's almost a law in Portugal that there has to be some kind of monument or statue in all roundabouts that lead into towns, and Penacova's no different. What do you think of this one? It's probably one of my favorites. Isn't that beautiful? An old water wheel. Everywhere you go in Portugal, you can find these images depicted in tiles. And look at this. I think this is an art mosaic of the monastery in nearby Lourval, which we will go and have a look at shortly. Let's have a look at the next one. Let's check it out. Here we can see a traditional windmill. Lovely. And in this one we can see an old water wheel. If you watch my videos, you know that I'm partial to a good font. Already found a font here in Penacova. And then across the road, look at this lovely old church. Don't look at that scaffolding, that's ugly. Look at this beautiful church. Look at that dome on the top of the bell tower. So we're a bit peckish and it's just after lunchtime. So we're going to stop and have some lunch now. And I'm just going to show you the little cafe we're at now. Tell me this doesn't have the best view from any cafe you've ever seen in your whole life. Are you ready? Check it out. So there you have it. The mighty Mondego River as it winds its way through central Portugal. Down here, the very famous Penacova River Beach. And here we can see a camper van ready for tourists to put their faces in. N2, Faro, 500 kilometers. N2. Now, what's the significance of the N2? The N2 is a very famous road that winds its way from north to south, from the very north of Portugal to the very south of Portugal. Starts in the town of Chaves in the north, stretches over 700 kilometers to Faro in the south, and it travels along this very famous road called the N2. And it's a beautiful road. It's really, really popular with motorcyclists because it's very twisty. It's very nice for riding. This is one of the stops along the route of the N2. So 500 kilometers to go if you're going all the way to Faro. We're going to take a little walk down the back lanes of Penacova. Check it out. So this is what the little back lanes look like, and a very traditional old central Portuguese village. Look how narrow this laneway is. So every year in Penacova they have an annual medieval fair where people come and get dressed up in medieval clothing and play medieval music. And during that time, along this particular laneway, they usually have a food fair. There'll be small independent market stalls selling local Portuguese food, various other things like ice creams, snacks, that kind of thing. And it's really amazing, a really festival atmosphere. There's always music playing and lots of people here, very crowded. We're sort of in that period now where autumn started and everything starts to quiet down. A funny thing in Portugal is when it gets to late spring and summer, you really wonder where all the people have come from. And then when it gets to autumn, you think, well, where the hell did they all go? So you can see this particular laneway skirts around the side of the mountain that Penacova sits on. And just so you can get your bearings, over there is the Livraria de Mondego. So this is the Mondego River, where you can see the green roof over there. This is the water bottling plant, Agua Penacova. And then over here you can see all the fields, so there's a lot of farming that goes on. The fertile valley of the mighty Mondego River. Very nice walking along here. Even though it's autumn, it's still quite sunny today. Possibly the last of the sunny days for a little while. I noticed the weather forecast was saying we've got a few weeks of rain ahead of us, but it's a nice 26 or 27 degrees, but I feel really quite cool under the leaves of these trees. Let's check out this gazebo and see what we can see from up here. Check out this view. Look at that. I want to say $1 million view, but it's free. And again, there we are looking down to the Praia Fluvial. And at the top of the mountain is the old Art Deco style hotel. That's the big hotel in Penacova. Let's go check it out. So we can see here, massive hotel, lots of Art Deco style features, mostly boarded up, some broken windows, but not as many as you would expect to see in other countries that I've lived in. Must have been a massive hotel, probably cost a fortune to stay in. Hard to know what's happened. I see a lot of these hotels in, especially in towns around central Portugal, that for whatever reason closed down. What a fantastic place that must have been. If anyone knows why this particular hotel is shut down, please let me know in the comments. In a minute, I'll take you down and we'll have a look at this beach. This particular river beach is quite famous in these parts, so it's worth a look. And then I'm going to take you over to a nearby village called Livraria, where we very nearly bought a house. And I'll show you the evidence that you can actually buy complete turnkey houses in central Portugal for under 10,000 euros. Check this out. Who have we got here? Saint Francisco de Assis. And there he is, in a glass box. Looking a bit worse for wear. Alright, so here we are at the Praia Fluvial, or the river beach in Penacova. And as you can see, there's not many people here. Not many people at all. In summer, this is absolutely packed and everybody's having a great time. They've got a pitch here for playing football or soccer for my American viewers. And yeah, look at that. You see the big sign there that says Penacova. Plenty of parking. That's my son Matthew down there with one of our dogs, Foot. So you can look up the mountain, up the hill I should say, probably overblowing it a bit to call it a mountain, but this is Penacova up there where we just were. And so I think you can probably see it up the top there, that's the hotel. So here we can see a big N2 sign. So this is one of the road markers to let people know that they're on the correct road, those people who are doing the journey from the very north to the very south of Portugal, or vice versa. There's no rule that says you can't start in the south and end in the north. And you can see lots of people from various motorcycle clubs have put their stickers on here. Lots of people have written their names, more so on the other side. So people from all over the world come and do the N2, and of course, you don't have to do it all. You can do it in sections. And in fact, if you go onto their website, and I'll put if I don't remember, please remind me that I said I would. But if I do remember, I'll put a link in the video description to the official website of the N2. And it actually shows you there's different sections you can do if you don't fancy doing the whole road. But I mean, something's happening. The Bombeiros in a hurry. Yeah, so you don't have to do the whole thing in one go, but it is only 700 kilometers, so it's not absolutely massive. And so here we have some tourist information about the N2 here. So we see here 35 concelhos, so 35 districts, 739.26 kilometers. And there we go, you can see the road. This is a map of Portugal, and you can see the road going all the way from north to south, or south to north as you prefer. And we are at 238 kilometers, so we're about a third of the way down. And so here we can get various souvenirs as evidence that we've come to this part of the N2, and I might purchase something for my office while I'm here. Okay, so I bought myself a couple of souvenirs, a little N2 memorabilia for my office, and I bought myself this passport. It was interesting, she actually offered to stamp it for me. So this is what you do as you're going down the N2 in each of the 35 districts. You can get a stamp in your passport, but I declined because actually next spring or summer I intend to ride the whole N2 on my motorcycle, so I'd like to get the stamps as I do that. So I'm keeping my passport blank for now, but yeah, ready for my N2 adventure next year. Look forward to that. That's probably going to be a good 3 or 4 videos worth, that one. So we've just arrived in the village of Livraria, which is about 5 or 10 minutes away from Penacova. Beautiful little village this, look at that. Cute little church, and then here we have a nice statue of Mary on the roundabout. So everyone get off this roundabout without getting run over. And over here in the distance you can see the monastery of Livraria. Very, very popular tourist attraction. These are the car parks, and you can see they're absolutely rammed. As I say, I think everybody's sort of in the same mindset that we are, realizing this may well be the last sunny day of the year, the last warm sunny day of the year, so everyone's making the most of it. And you can see the car park's absolutely rammed, and I mean, this is really a small village. And yeah, over there you can see the top of the monastery. What I want to show you is when we were house hunting, we actually saw a house in this village, which is that so-called unicorn house, which is a turnkey property for 10,000 euros. And this genuinely was a turnkey property. Sometimes estate agents in Portugal, they'll say it's turnkey, which means ready to live in. And, you know, they're not. You get there and the roof's falling in or something like that. But this genuinely was a house that you could have moved into straight away for 10,000 euros. Look at this corner house here. Imagine how narrow the room must be on the end there. Like a lot of these old Portuguese villages, it's a real rabbit's warren of small laneways. And they all look quite similar. So it might just take me a few moments till I find the house. But I will find it. So yeah. I remember when we first viewed the house, and you can see it looks like a kind of a terraced bungalow, number 17. So this is the front door, but this is actually to the top of the house. I don't remember this dog, but as I say, I have 2 dogs. So you show me your 1 dog, I'll show you my 2 dogs. This is actually underneath the house. So you can see it actually goes over 3 levels. So that's the top up there, then down to this balcony, and then down to here. And there was a bathroom here and a storage area in there. And obviously the people who've bought it have blocked in this balcony because that was all open when we looked. But there you go, that was a 10,000 euro house, genuine 10,000 euro house. And you can find them if you look. And from memory, I think this little bit of outdoor space also went to the house. So if you wanted to have a barbecue or something out there. So you did have a little bit of outdoor space. Obviously no parking, but 10,000 euros. It's bloody cheap, mate. Bloody cheap. Like a bird, bloody cheap. 10,000 euros. It's even less than things that cost 11,000 euros. Something I really love about these old Portuguese villages is the kind of higgledy-piggledy building style they have. And a real feature in this village is these quite triangular shaped buildings like this one, again with that really narrow room. And you can see they've got the balcony and they're overlooking this, wouldn't quite call it a river, it's more of a canal, isn't it? But yeah, quite amazing. And yeah, it's another small village with quite a lot of small businesses that have obviously shut down recently. Like I don't think these are 2 cafes right next door to each other that obviously haven't been open in many years. I'm not sure how long these places have been shut for. Maybe it's still a knock-on effect of COVID. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you know what's happened. As I say, these villages, Livraria and Penacova, 20-25 minute drive away from Coimbra, which is, I believe, Portugal's 3rd largest city. So it surprises me that these aren't used more as commuter towns. And I mean, this is such a pretty village. I really love these old narrow streets, so there's so much character. Anyway, let's go check out the monastery. I'm not going to try and get in. We'll just see if we can get close enough to see it from outside. So we're at the monastery. Here we can see the sign. Mosteiro, I think is the pronunciation. Like I say, I'm not going to try and go in, but we can check it out from outside. Mosteiro do Lourval, or the Lourval Monastery. One thing I've always noticed at monasteries is they always have bars on the windows. And knowing that being a monk is the life of an ascetic, I don't suppose there's much value in the rooms. So I can only assume that the bars are there to stop the cheeky buggers from sneaking out at night. What do you think? Anyway, ignorant as I am, I went up to the man in charge and I said to him, I know there's a monastery, but are there any women inside? And he said, no, none. No, none. And here we are. This will be our last stop today. Mondego, which is some old windmills. Let's check them out. So these are some ancient windmills up here on the mountain above Lourval. You actually do see these all around Portugal, especially central Portugal, and even on the coast in central Portugal. Like I remember near Nazaré seeing them. But we didn't see them in such a big collection like this. You'd see like the odd one dotted on the hill, but there seems to be about 20 here. It's like a windmill convention. Presumably up here on the top of the hill, they got a lot of wind. I'm not sure. It's not very windy today. You could probably hear a little bit of wind. I haven't got the wind muffs on the camera today. But it's not too windy up here. But I imagine when the wind picks up, you get quite a lot of windmilling done if your windmills worked. I wonder what the windmills milled. I always think it's a funny thing in English, because technically windmill sounds like it should be milling wind. When you think of something like a cotton mill, What are you talking about, Portugeeza? Shut up. I imagine it's a long time since they've done any milling, but I can still see the remnants of the sails on at least this one. I wonder if they're hemp sails, probably. Look at that. The remnants of the old sail on. And it's quite interesting, isn't it? Juxtaposed with the new windmills. And these windmills really are milling air, aren't they, for electricity? It's amazing. So I wonder how it works. I wonder if these were windmills that were or are owned by the government, or maybe each family owned a windmill. If you know anything about it, please let me know in the comments. I know I've got quite a lot of Portuguese followers, which I'm really, really grateful for, and a lot of them seem to come from central Portugal. So there you go. Oh, this is nice, isn't it? Come up to do a bit of windmilling. Grab yourself a chair. Have a look down to Lorval. See what you can see. What's going on down there? In and around Nazaré and Alcobaça and São Martinho de Porto, over there on the Silver Coast, we noticed quite a few of these windmills had been converted into small houses. I'd be willing to bet that almost every one of those conversions has been done by a foreigner. Don't ask me why I think that. This seems like a peculiarly foreign thing to do for some reason. But I do like this one. They got their windmill, the chairs and tables around the side, and they've got a little barbecue area at the back. Doesn't look like it's been used for a while, but plenty of fun was had here. Uncharacteristic graffiti on the door, some love hearts. May have been some teenage romance happening in these windmills. Maybe some of the residents of Lorval were conceived in these very windmills. Well, bloody hell, Portugal. We're having quite an adventure today. If you want more of these adventures where I get out with the family or on the bike and go check out these sort of local areas here in central Portugal, let me know in the comments. I really enjoy doing them. As I say, today's probably the last sunny day for quite a while, so I was keen to get out and have a bit of a walk around and let the kids and the dogs have a bit of a walk. But and seen quite a few people out today, so I know I'm not the only one. But there you go, look at that. Loads and loads of windmills. A footpath ending in a rocky outcrop. Seems like it can mean only one thing. There's going to be a spectacular view. Foot's the first to see it. He looks pretty happy. Ah, there we go. Stunning. Saying it's interesting, the kind of the juxtaposition, Matthew, of the old windmills and the new windmills up there, you know what I mean? Do you like that word, juxtaposition?
No.
What does it mean? What does it mean?
What
does juxtaposition mean, Matthew?
Oh, I know.
Tell them what it means, Matthew.
I don't know.
Tell them.
I
Tell
don't know.
them.
Oh, I know.
All right, so I think we're going to wrap the video up here. If you're new around here and you like this type of content, please consider subscribing. It really, really helps me. And if you like the video, please give it a like. Muito obrigado, amigos. Ciao.